And good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. Foreign workers versus U.S. workers fighting for the same job.
Channel 5's Angela Vargas shows us who's winning the battle in tonight's special report, The Harvest.
Thousands of people in the United States plant, pick, and package produce. Some are from foreign countries, some are from the United States. Some employers are relying on the federal government to make sure there's enough people to harvest your food. Most of the food we eat is planted by hand. So these are jalapenos, right?
This is jalapeno, yes, sir.
Diana Soto showed us how to plant them.
Let me know if I'm doing it right.
She puts 2 down, and I've only planted 1. I'm not fast enough. Others are. Soto spent 10 years working in the agriculture business.
I have a daughter and a son, and my daughter's working here too. She's the one who helps me out with the people, and my son too. So it's something like it was my dad, and then it was me, and then my sons.
It's like a family business.
Yeah.
Soto trained 70 workers from the United States and other countries. Some U.S. workers say they can't get jobs.
Some of the newer kinds of cases that we've started seeing a large uptick in the last few years have to do with U.S. workers, Texans, being displaced by guest workers.
Texas Rio Grande legal aid lawyer Daniela Dwyer says some of these cases and/or complaints are workers from the valley.
We're probably handling 2 to 3 times as many complaints as we have before, and that means upwards of 10 to 20 complaints per year.
H-2A workers can only get a job when the supply of U.S. workers is too low. Those are the rules according to the Department of Labor.
Families who've typically done farm work for many years for an employer or in a particular type of crop, like specialists in onions or specialists in melons, are being told that they're not going to be hired anymore because those farms or agricultural businesses have decided to hire the foreign guest workers through the H-2A program.
Soto's boss, grower Mike Kelly, believes differently.
It's a fact, people, that we have a labor shortage.
He hires a contractor or crew leader like Soto to make sure U.S. workers get jobs first.
H-2A, it's new here in the Valley. Me personally tried them out last year for the first time, but what you just said about them taking jobs from local people, to my knowledge, that's not true.
Kelly explains when an H-2A foreign worker is hired, the employer must advertise about a month in advance to give Americans a chance to apply for the job. Kelly's farmed this valley land for 32 years.
The younger people don't care to work on the farm. They go to the large cities, work in the factories, or the tourist spots. They get paid more, working conditions are cooler, you name it.
Soto says she does hire U.S. employees. She claims they only stay for a short time, though.
They don't show up that much. They come work for 2 or 3 days, and then they don't come back.
Dwyer believes hiring more H-2A workers can lead to more abuse.
More and more of those jobs are going H-2A, and the H-2A workers are being forced to work faster and faster and faster and pick more and more and more of buckets in order to keep their jobs.
Dwyer and her team went to Michigan to see the conditions of the migrant labor facilities. These are pictures of their trip. Refrigerators outside with loose electrical wiring and trash next to the living areas.
Many of the camps that people live in are camps that are literally hidden in trees. They should be inspected by some agency, but they're often not, especially if they're unlicensed, and people may not know that they have these farm workers in their neighborhoods at all.
We are seeing pictures attorneys took, so we don't know what we're not seeing in these pictures. Helly says he went to some farms across the country too. He claims most workers in the northern states are part of the H-2A program. They also have pictures of their job sites.
It's very hard for somebody to take advantage of people. I don't know how that can happen. What I learned this year, I don't know about in other areas, but it's impossible because the Department of Labor came out and checked us, or checked the crew leaders. I had to give them GPS coordinates to, where my fields were. I mean, they knew everything that was going on.
In Ohio, Patricia Gomez starts her day early.
We're in bunched onions, mostly, from 7 in the morning till 7 at evening.
Gomez, her mom, dad, and the rest of the family are migrant workers from San Benito. She's worked the fields for 23 years.
Last year, we were getting paid roughly $8.15, I think, and they raised it up a lot. For this year, we're getting paid $13.25. So, yeah, we're working about 60, 70 hours.
She has 5 children. These apartments are home from June to October.
I'm a citizen, and I'm working comfortably there, and the company's still hiring.
Dwyer helped Ramiro Salinas and 2 other Valley migrant workers get a settlement in 2017. The complaint explains a Colorado agricultural company preferred foreign workers over U.S. workers. We spoke with Salinas while he was working in Ohio about the case.
No fui yo al trabajo. Ese trabajo nomás hizo los papeleos y después ya no nos quisieron porque no sabían inglés.
Back on Helly's farm, workers are grateful for their opportunity to work.
¿Es muy feliz? ¿Contento de estar trabajar?
Pues sí, gracias a Dios que tenemos trabajo.
Helly believes the H-2A program is strict enough. It will keep abuse down and employees in his fields.
And we got a lot of money on our crop, and we have to get it harvested. If we don't, we can't make any money, and we'll go under.
Soto says the program protects her and fellow American workers.
I think that's better like that than being afraid.
Farmers need workers. Lawyers want them to know their rights. For now, U.S. and foreign workers will harvest the food we eat, side by side. An employer can pay more than $10,000 just for one H-2A worker. That price could increase depending on the employee's home country. In Hidalgo County, Angelo Vargas, Channel 5 News at 10.
The Hidalgo County DA urging labor trafficking victims to come forward.
You know, we have a lot of smuggling that goes on, and we see that, unfortunately.
His office started a labor trafficking exploitation unit in partnership with the Buffett McCain Institute. It is the first of its kind task force in the nation, now less than a year old.
We've been able to dive into some few cases that we're working on, but we're getting a lot of good response from the community, and we're getting calls. So slowly it's.
Rodriguez believes many people do not want to call in fear of their citizenship status. He adds everyone should understand they're not going to get in trouble if they report the cases.